Welcome to Two and a Half Citizens Podcast. I'm Zen.
Hey, it's Ruben.
And let's get right into it. So for starters, I want to start streaming. I've been thinking about it. I already been getting our ducks in a row. We got a Twitch account now. We just ain't gone live yet because I don't know, you be saying crazy things, Ruben, and then I have to edit them out. And it's just a big thing because sometimes when the cameras are off, you just really be letting opinions fly. Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, dog, I get that you don't care about your fellow tech workers and Twitter, but you don't really got to say that shit. It's insane that you say things like that. But we do want to go live,
Twitch
and I have
cancel people.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of streamers just because I'm like, okay, how does the streaming world work when you're not actually gaming and stuff like that? So I've been watching a lot of Hassan Piker, Hassan Abi, Big Haas, whatever they call him. And this all stemmed from one of the stories that I want to cover first, which is a few weeks ago, which was, dude, it was cutting it so close. I was like, because we record these almost a week before we put them out. So when we were talking positively about Andrew Callahan's docuseries on HBO, I was like, I had to make sure, I'm like, did we already put that out? Because I can't put it out the week that all of this Andrew Callahan controversy comes up. I'm like, am I going to have to re-edit the podcast? It's the day before I'm going to put it out. But I'm like, nope, that was last week. We're good. And with that, I was watching a lot of Hassan Piker's clips and stuff like that on YouTube because he's talking a lot about Andrew Callahan. He's talking a lot about Andrew Tate, all the Andrews. And and so I'm like, I'm watching this, and it's starting to get a little, it's upsetting. So let's just quickly run through exactly what happened, what we know. TikTok user came out saying basically that Andrew Callahan was exhibiting a lot of these sex pest behaviors. Well, he'll eventually get consent, but after wearing the person down a lot, and then start showing other stories of people saying similar things or other things that just makes them seem wild. Now here's where it gets not slippery, but it just doesn't become as good of a look. Regardless, everybody's story needs to be heard, and you know what I mean, especially when they're real victims and stuff.
Yeah.
What gets squirrely is when someone asks for money first before putting the story out, because that does seem like extortion in a way, even though it's when you look at the messages, apparently before she put this out, she messaged Andrew and said, yo, because the idea is when you're seeing your abuser just get praised on a mainstream platform, you're seeing everyone talk about how great his work is, how good of a person he is, how good he is for the world. And you're just sitting there but I'm literally a victim of his. It can make people feel a certain way. So she messages him and basically goes, hey, yo, I see you popping off with all this HBO stuff. You want to throw a little money my way for my therapy, for all the trauma you put me through? And I don't know what the response was. I don't know if that's part's out.
I think he didn't respond.
Well, according to her, his events of that night are skewed. Now, she never said, implying to me that there was a response where he goes, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We just hooked up. You said, whatever the case may be. So in the messages that have been put out, she never says, if you don't give me money, I will tell the world about this. So that's what covers her on. It's not extortion. She just said something to him. He didn't respond the way she wanted. And then she on her own made the choice to let everybody know what's going on so that other people feel safe and stuff, right? So
what would be the response she wanted, though? It would have been to get money, right?
Right. The response would have been to get money.
I feel it was kind of extortion. It was, in a way, even though you weren't directly, you're I guess you could give me money, but what is the alternative? It's you basically telling people the story. I feel her story was kind of extortion, because the only two alternatives are you give me money and it'll help me with my, I'm hurt, or I tell
Now,
everyone.
here's who's to say that he would have given money and she would have still not said anything. I mean, it's been,
exactly.
by what it seems like a long time since this situation's happened, possibly.
What would you do if like an ex came out was like, hey, I'm about to show people this wild shit you were saying, like Whataburger ain't shit, and
no, I mean, that's the thing though, is like
they always have it over your head. You have to take control of your own narrative.
Exactly, which truly is the only way, right? Like, the only way is if you know something's coming down the pipeline, you have to just kind of get ahead of it and be the person. Because once the news comes out, however they see the news first is what it is. So if you get accused, even if it's something that's not true, that accusation is immediately going to be the thing that sticks. Now, if you come out, so like this happened with Whitney Cummings, right? So Whitney Cummings was on live one time on an edible or Ambien or some shit like that, and got out, and she was like in the bathtub. She was taking a video. She gets out of the tub. I don't know if she thinks she ends the video or what. Long story short, she accidentally shows her titties on live, right? So everyone's like, yo, girl, like messaging her, all her friends, like, hey, yo, you wildin'. Basically, somebody screenshots it and now is months, years later, threatening to leak her nudes, right?
That's funny.
So she's like, what the fuck? That's what you're going to leak? So she just leaks it herself and says, hey, yo, this person was trying to extort me, saying this, and that, and the third. I'm going to put it out. Other comedians came in support. Bert Kreischer put his testicles out just to kind of like support and shit like that. So it's like now, regardless the situation's out there, but you control how it's seen. You control how people view it and stuff like that. So basically, the way that he went about this in the beginning is just very interesting because he just doesn't address it. He gives a very lawyer response, which understandable. Your legal team's going to tell you, hey, respond this way because we're fighting this, that, and the third. But that really just kind of secures more guilt because you have to dance around things you can say to make sure you don't incriminate yourself later. By what I've heard, people talk about him. He did do a response, but before he did a response, he had just said, yes, I've had interactions with these women. So he never denied knowing these people. He never denied having any situations with them. And then he later on took responsibility for everything, and but also said there are multiple sides to the story, and there's a lot of important context pieces of information that would change the way these things are viewed. But that's as vague as he left it. There's no criminal charges, so I don't understand what, you know what I mean?
It's up to the court of public opinion at this point.
Right, which he's not really helping his case in the court of public opinion.
True.
That's my thing, is that right now, like Tory Lanez was dealing with a real ass actual criminal trial, and he had the court of public opinion going crazy, dog. And that was with a celebrity, mind you. This is with just like a, for lack of a better word, random TikToker. As far as like the world's concerned, you're talking about like two high profile celebrities, and Tory put out a whole album making the public opinion feel like, damn, he may have not done this. And that was like, and at the end of the day, we're like, well, we're gonna see what the courts say. This is one of those. Tory Lanez?
Yeah.
According to the court of law, yeah.
But according to you?
According to the court, I can only go by the court of law. I wasn't there. If the court of law, if the jury said...
What if it's a wrongful conviction?
I mean, he'll appeal it, and the justice system will continue to do his thing. He now has, quickly, I'm just going to cover what's going on since then. He has now hired the lawyer who got... Am I lying when I say the lawyer who got Casey Anthony off? And the lawyer who got Suge Knight. I think he got Suge Knight's lawyer for sure.
I could look it up.
And he got someone else's lawyer. He basically fired his old lawyer and just got a whole new crazy ass controversial team of lawyers.
That's funny. Let me see.
So yeah, he's like, let's see, Tory Lanez new legal team upcoming his appeal trial.
I see that he did fire his old lawyers, but it doesn't say, oh, hires Casey Anthony's lawyer.
Yep, Casey Anthony and Suge Knight's. So
wow,
he's
what a resume.
Jesus that's Christ. What I'm saying, dog. So he's coming out with a vengeance. Is all I'm saying is that he's coming out and he's going to try to see what him and the legal system can do.
The glove does not fit. You must acquit.
As of right now.
Do you know who that guy is? Okay, he's guilty. Do you know who that guy is?
What guy?
Because we weren't around when OJ was running from the cops.
No, but I've watched like the shows and stuff and everything.
You know what his lawyer I'm talking about?
Well, I know he had two. I know he had Robert Kardashian.
Oh yeah, true.
Kim Kardashian.
That's wild.
Yeah, he had Robert Kardashian. That was the big one. You know what I mean? As far as like the way everything's all tied in with the fam and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Johnny Cochran.
Yeah. That one, he was popping. He was popping back in those days. But with this, so basically, that's what I'm understanding. This is what throws me off here because it's like, especially with the things he's accused of, he's being accused of like scummy behavior. He's not being accused of anything illegal. Now, what gets sketchy is then people start piling on. So people would say, like in those videos, like he would go and hang out and stay the night with girls who were living with their parents. So like 99% underage, which is kind of like a wild statement because a lot of people that are not underage live with their parents. That's just, those things seem like just trying to like throw fuel to the fire and seems to like remove attention from the main issue going on. People just want to pile on a lot of stuff. So people be like, look how much of a piece of shit this guy is, as opposed to being like, hey, let's focus on the actual issue so that we can actually like educate and help.
Yeah, I mean, there was other stories too of girls who weren't extorting him and were actually like, "Hey, this man is a sex pest." So,
and apparently that's just big in his local scene. That it was a very known thing around his local Seattle scene, according to So after reading the comments on the video, a lot of people were like, "I realize that I am a sex pest." Do you see that a lot in like your community, like where, you know, single guys are like kind of like, because where do you draw the line? Here's the thing. Yeah, and that is the problem, right? Here is the thing with that is that we never see, like, you may see the homie at the club, at the bar, trying to pick up a girl, and then whatever happens as far as if he gets her to go back or whatever that case is, you assume, all right, cool, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Consensual.
You're not there once things are going down in the bedroom. It's a whole different dynamic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're not there when those types of things are happening. So I do think that a lot of guys have realized, oh shit, like that's a thing people have a problem with, because most people have been kind of taught that, like, even in business, I mean, I know you shouldn't bring business talk into like a sexual, like intimate setting, but like a lot of people have said words like no doesn't mean no, it means try again. You know what I mean? Like in life, people have been told that, as far as like, don't ever give up, don't ever take no for an answer, just try a different way. And that is different when you're trying to like have that hustle mentality in life. You're trying to grind, but it's different when you're dealing with like intimate situations and with people's feelings and emotions. That's not supposed to be transactional. You know what I mean? Like, you're using those in things that I guess should be transactional, while like something like sex shouldn't be. You know what I mean? But I do think a lot of people were defending him at first, and possibly still defending him until he said don't, for that reason. Yeah. That they're like, isn't that normal? Isn't that what people do? Like, how do you even, you know, do it then, or whatever the case may be?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably still a thing but a lot of people, I guess I speak out of experience. I don't know. A lot of people find their dates now online, like through an app or something. Yeah. So I feel like it removes, like, you both agreed, like, we will go on a date in a sense, but then you could still be a sex pest because the person could be like, she wants to have sex, and it's like, no, I just wanted the free meal. Like,
not only that, the number of like catfish situations, like, I don't know like how long it's been since you've been out in the market, but like when you texting it's a whole different situation than once you there face to face. Like you be saying crazy shit via text message, dude. Like you be saying the wildest shit. You be like, hello. You'd be all nervous and shit. Like, bro, I remember like one time I was like on tour and shit, and I was on Tinder, and this girl was wild. She was at one of the shows, and she's like messaging me on Tinder, and she's sending like titty pics with like candle wax with pentagrams on it and shit like that. And I'm like, I gotta like act like I'm still on this shit. Like I ain't feeling this shit like that. You know what I mean? This shit wild, crazy. Feels like it hurts. Like I don't want to be involved in that shit. And then, you know, I never speak to her again. But if we would have actually met up, it would have been one of those situations where I was just talking bold as fuck on text messages, and I wasn't about it once we got in. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean,
maybe you get like a drink in you though, and then you're like smooth, like, hey, what's up?
And then that's another thing too, has been a big problem, is that he's also accused of like giving them a lot of alcohol to like try to get them to that place, which is a whole other issue. And that's always one of the most difficult issues. It all depends on like people's emotions, because a lot of people consensually want to go out, get drunk, and then hook up. But then there's that line of like, well, what's too much? What's now non-consensually drunk? And I think it all depends on like their emotions beforehand and body language beforehand. Did they say we're not hooking up, and then later on you convinced them to?
Yeah, I just wonder how bad it got. Like how bad they were like, no. Like, could you imagine like just putting somebody down, like somebody being so annoying that you're like, I do not find you attractive. I don't want to have sex with you. Get the fuck off of me. And then they're like, and then like 5 minutes later, hey, yeah, but like, you know, you're ready to go. You're like, God damn, bro, you did not catch it. Not even a hint. I'm telling you verbatim. So I wonder how like the intensity of like the leaving the fuck alone. And he's just like, hey,
but
bro,
you know, there's also like, if you look at back in the day and like certain things like, all right, Baby It's Cold Outside. One of the wildest sounding like songs or like things ever. And it's basically that. But in the song, it seems to be implied that she's cool with the back and forth game. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? And that's a song we like listen to like actively when it's Christmas and shit.
Andrew Callahan just has it on repeat every day. He's like, it's cold.
It's cold outside.
It is cold, man.
Especially in Seattle and shit like that. Rain. Because that's the thing in Seattle, like it's raining, like you ain't got shit to do but pest people about sex, right?
Okay, so my little brother now lives in Seattle, and the one thing that I know about Seattle is that it rains and they hate Houstonians.
Why do they hate us?
I don't know. I think it's something to do with the Astros. Like, did we win or something? Like,
they're the Mariners or whatever, right? What are they?
They're the Mariners. The disrespect of not even
one gay ass name. Can we just talk about that? Gay.
Their logo though is so cool. Like that swordfish is pretty dope.
What do they call when two dudes together?
Is that what that's called?
I think so. I think it's sword fishing.
You know what I mean? Sword fishing was like picking your butthole.
Nah, I would just assume like two swords fishing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like lightsabering. You feel me? Like. No, I mean, to me, that just seems what it would be. You know what I'm saying? Now, but don't get me wrong. Personally, I love Seattle because of Nirvana, and
like you can go visit the Nirvana house.
So, like, I like Seattle because of Nirvana, and I have to like Seattle also because of Grey's Anatomy.
Nah, there's no term. The term "a friend who single-handedly ruins a group photo by staring in a direction not even closely related to the camera."
That's sword fishing?
That's according to Urban Dictionary.
Damn, I thought I was onto something. Well, we're going to make it a thing, though. We're going to make it a thing. Okay, go to Pornhub and look up sword fishing. See what pops up.
And maybe not on this laptop, but on my personal device.
But yeah, that's just like one of those things where, I mean, it's been really weird because he had just gone from like the high of this movie release to like the downfall of what's going on. And I would see it just even with like media. You would see people who were like having him on streams and like having him on like their shows. And it's what does throw me off, not throw me off, but just lets me see a lot of what's going on is people switch, right? So when you wanted him to boost your views because he's popping right now, then it's all's good. Y'all are cool. Y'all are chilling.
Yeah.
And then this comes out, and then it's like, well, now I get to use him for negative views.
I didn't see it that way. I saw it as like, I have to kind of be like, hey, I just was hanging out with this dude and now he's accused of this. I have to be like, hey, let's look at it from an objective lens. This is news, and I'm not going to defend what he's doing. Because I think what most people would do, which is what you wouldn't want, is like, this is my homie. I can't say anything about him, but I run a show that I talk about the daily news every day. And I'm just going to gloss over this giant ass topic, which is my friend being accused of something.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, I feel that. But at the same time, when things are just so uncertain, now this one is seeming more and more certain. And he came out and said, yo, I was wild for that. Right. But here's what I think you do. And this is what I've seen people like Andrew Schultz do, right? You just had this guy on, and you just made a lot of, views, clout, attention off of him. You know him. So you're going to call him and say, hey, yo, dog, I am going to talk about this. I can't not.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a statement on your behalf of what you know so far before I go report? Because I'm about to report, and you can't stop me from reporting. It's my job. It's unfair if I don't. But I'm going to reach out to you, be like, yo, the fuck going on with this situation?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if he says, hey, I'm going to make a statement, X, Y, and Z, then I can go and say, hey, this is what's happening. This is what these people are saying. This is what Andrew's saying. He's saying he's going to make a statement and he's going to address everything. So I don't know what that's going to be. Here's what my opinion is on this. Because most of these people aren't, you're reporting it like news, but you're also giving your opinion. Like every person who's streaming, you're listening to them for their opinion. You go to Tucker Carlson, you're looking for their opinion. So at the same time, they want your opinion, which you can't say is not going to be skewed from knowing the person. So at least use your knowledge of the person to be like, hey, I'm going to ask for a statement from you. If they don't want to give a statement, then you can be like, hey, yo, I try to reach out. He ain't say shit to me, so I can just say what I know.
Zen is letting us know, just in case there's a controversy on how to handle it.
Yo, what? No, I mean,
I call you on a Saturday, like, hey, bro, you want to speak on this? No. Wait till I put my statement out. It goes to my PR team.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things because you've seen the way that cancel culture has gone and been like, who's really gotten canceled and what has it done for them, right?
Yeah.
And what you notice is if you stop, then they canceled you. But if you don't, people who support you will continue supporting you.
Yes.
So it's like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine idealistically should have just been completely canceled, right? Because of the whole snitching stuff. And he just said, I'm going to just embrace snitching and keep on doing me. And everyone who already hated me is going to hate me. And everyone who doesn't is just going to like keep on listening and keep on running my views up.
But is there anybody that likes his music really?
No, but they like his antics and he's still making money somehow.
The antics are fun. I don't know. He's making money. I secretly think he's broke.
I don't
Not
know.
Secretly, Nicki on that one song said he's broke.
But he's going, and this is going to kind of lead us into this other topic. He's going to like Russia and stuff and getting like $1 million shows.
Yeah, Russian motherfuckers got too much money.
So he's doing stuff like that where like, it's kind of like Drake Bell, right? Other than his weird ass situation that ended up happening. But in America, no one was fucking with him. He was always getting into some shit. He could not make money here. So then he went to Mexico, started going as El Campo, like the bell, and like just started popping and rolling off over there until he got arrested for some weird child shit.
I think that's a commonality in Mexico and Mexican people. They will ride really hard if they like something. And that's what my mom was mentioning. She's like, yeah, man, it's kind of sad because you'll see like a bunch of these really famous, singers from back in her time who are not Mexican. Like they're like Venezuelan or Argentinian or Spaniard, and they do not have popularity where they're from. But they come to Mexico and they perform, and the people here are like, oh, we really like this, and they will like fight for you to basically be heard. And they're like, but they don't do it for their own people. And that's why she's like, I don't think you see that many Mexican artists because the Mexican people just aren't like, they just aren't rooting for their own. Like they're not like, yeah, like put this
because
song.
it's not different. You know what I mean? They kind of want to hear something that's like different. I'm telling you, everything ends in tan tan.
Yeah.
They're tired of hearing tan tan, dog.
That's
But
true. But I feel like you could find somebody in Mexico like doing some chopped and screwed, you know, what do they listen to? Norteñas, bachata. I don't know. Have you ever seen that? There's a Netflix movie where they listen to slowed down, like I forget what the type. Just imagine like norteñas, but like chopped and screwed. That's basically it. And I was crazy. Like, it was cool because I was like, these motherfuckers just went to Houston one time. Like one of their cousins lives in Houston and was like, hey, bro, you ever thought of slowing this down? And then they're just dancing like
sipping lean. That sounds like it would actually be sick though.
It was. I have one song and I followed the
SoundCloud or whatever,
the actor on Instagram, but he's just like a kid. He just like is hanging out with his friends in Mexico, and I was like, he doesn't post anything interesting. He just did one movie. It was like really good. And he's just like, I'm good now.
But yeah, you see things like that where these people are able to like make their livings in other places and like find where their audience actually is. You know what I mean? So like you see that with people like Drake Bell. You see that with people like 6ix9ine.
Who is Drake Bell, for those of us who don't know, which is me?
So he was in Drake and Josh.
Is he the big one or the
skinny one, Drake from Drake?
The one accused of like child grooming?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he was in Mexico. So he was like, so he went over there because no one was fucking with him here. I mean, dude, his whole downfall was kind of crazy. So, I mean, it was Drake and Josh, right? And Drake was the good-looking one who played guitar, got all the girls, and then Josh was the fat, nerdy kid.
Yeah, but can we say Drake just fit the trend of that time, which is a bowl haircut, light skin, and you look kind of emo, and that was like the...
Yeah, but like it was going crazy. Like everyone thought Drake's the guy you want to beat. You know what I mean? Like all the kids who are like watching him on TV, the idea is you want to be the cool guy that gets all like the girls and like plays guitar and everyone wants to be friends with. Everyone liked Drake.
You weren't watching PBS Kids till you were like in senior year of high school?
No, I had cable, dog. Like I had channels. Like I had like HD channels and shit, dog. Like
I was listening to like
HBO and stuff.
Like my girl Sagwa, the Siamese Cats, for a minute. Dragon Tales went hard. That song never got old.
Did go hard. Dragon Tales did go hard.
Imagine singing along when you're in high school. You're like, hey, bro.
I was like 3 when Dragon Tales went hard, but like,
Springer, you just catch him one day.
I would, but that would be during the summers. During the summers, I'd watch hella Jerry Springer.
Do you know what commercial I'm talking about? It's this black guy. He's talking about community college, and your life is passing you by. Let's go over and over again. Maybe I'll do it next year. Maybe I'll do it next week. No, do it right now. You say you do it after work or before work. No, do it right now. You never seen that?
I think so.
Okay. Someone finally reposted it because I could never find it. And I always references that motherfucker because I'm just eating like food, watching shows. And I'm like in middle school.
Yeah, he'd be like, do it right now.
Yeah, do it right. I'm like, well, bro, I'm not doing it. It's just like community college. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for college yet.
Did you watch Degrassi? I popped off on Degrassi during the summer, the whole marathon.
I've never watched an episode.
Dude, it got me so crazy. Like I think that's the reason I fuck with Drake so hard, because it was like I was watching this like crazy, like middle school, 7th, 6th, 7th grade, something like that, right? During the summers, be staying up with my friends. There were girls. There weren't girlfriends. We was just staying up being like, you watching Degrassi right now? Like I was one of the girls, dog. Like, and we're watching Degrassi all night, just on the phone, commentating. And then I get into high school, or maybe even 8th grade or something, and Best I Ever Had comes out. And I remember hearing it in the bus to be like just jamming, like, yo, this song go hard as fuck. And then I'm at my homie's house one time, and he puts the video on, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, is that? And you're like, Drake? Yeah, the dude from, and he explains, like, he's like, how the fuck do you not know this? Yes, it's the guy from Degrassi. And I had been such a big fan of Degrassi that I'm like, dude, this is really fucking good. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then from there, it just, you know what I mean? It just never stops.
That's pretty awesome.
Then I felt attacked when he goes, when the album drop, bitches will buy it for the picture and dudes will buy it too and say they got it for their sister. And I'm like, damn, dude, I ain't even got a sister. I'm like, this shit is
Who do I blame it on?
Who do I blame this on? But yeah, dude, and I remember just like watching these things late at night, and I feel like you need to go back and watch Degrassi. Teaches you a lot of pivotal things about like life. Some kid dies, someone gets shot, there's a school shooter, people getting pregnant, girls wearing thongs. It's crazy, dude. Like
it's
in high school.
So that's funny that you mentioned it. Yesterday I was talking to Alexis, my girlfriend, about this. So I moved from our high school to a different high school, and there was a stark difference. Like the high school we went to, there was a mixture of people. There's white people, Asian people, some Hispanic people, black people, everyone, Indian people. In this other school, it was like 99% Hispanic.
Yo.
Like there was one white kid.
And he probably spoke a little Spanish.
2 Asian kids. Yeah, exactly. There was like, okay, like 95. The other 5% was like black. But like, that's how crazy it was, because I felt like, I was like, man, y'all got no diversity here. Like I was moving to this school, a 3-story school, never seen something like that. And it was made out of brick. So it wasn't like all these new schools that kind of look like playgrounds where it's like, oh, like, you know, we have like a place for like your child to be taken care of.
Right.
And we have like a softball field, like twice the size of like, you know, we have like everything over there. It's like a limited size. It's in the city, you know, it's this, and then everyone's fucking brown. Nobody is zoned to the school. Everyone is like in some sort of like, because program. You live in a bad neighborhood, like we'll let you come to this school type of deal. And I'm just like, damn, what the fuck? But it was really cool experiencing. This is all to say, it was cool to see like different levels of like people that look like me, but like either like different generations or like different wealth gaps. And you're just like, it was just cool to be like, oh, okay, we're not all the same. We all kind of like, because I was like, I like didn't know if what I did was a Mexican thing or it was a broke thing. And then that let me like, oh, okay, this is what we do as Mexicans. And then I go, oh, okay, no, this is just me. Like, y'all don't do that. Okay, understood. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one, because like I always remember like that's the thing is when you're in middle school, everybody's just kind of like doing their thing, and you're either cool or not. Like that's two different. You're either cool or you're not cool.
Yeah.
And then you go into high school, and you're like, whoa, wait, there's different like subgroups. Like people are into different things. And then you're like, oh, it's not like I can be like cool in this thing though. Like I was just uncool because I was into that thing before, but like there's a whole group of people into this thing, and I could be cool or uncool in this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's when I started seeing people wear camouflage and shit.
Yeah. It's like you
two different types. There's the I think I hunt camouflage, and there's the I think I'm gonna join the military camouflage.
Both of them, I don't know. Were you wearing camouflage? This is what you're telling me?
Nah, dude, because here's my thing. Is I hunted my entire like childhood. Like when I was in elementary school, my dad would pull me out of school to go on hunting trips and shit. Like, and I thought we were like the only Mexicans at the hunting club ever. It seemed like it was like nothing but white people, but I grew up doing it. But that wasn't my identity.
What'd you show up with?
With what gun?
Yeah.
It would be a 270, it'd be a 30-06, or it'd be a 300 mag. Those would be like the three like guns we usually would take. As far as like
not holstered, you're just walking around like this.
No, we're not. When you're hunting deer, you're hunting with rifles.
So everything you mentioned is a rifle.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Rifle.
So you got a strap on it. You know, my dad will carry like a sidearm in case they're like, you know, something close range that you need to like fight off or something.
How do you aim as someone who has never shot a single gun?
You kind of, I mean,
how do you aim a rifle?
There's a
what
scope.
Is the sight like? Is it a scope or like a metal scope like in Call of Duty?
No, it's a scope. But the thing is, you have to sight it in. So like, you have to make sure it's accurate. You know, you have to go to the shooting range and like adjust your things because you're like, oh, it's shooting too much to the right. Let me align it.
But are you like that motherfucking like Navy Team 6, whatever, where you like, you know, gotta lick the finger, feel the wind, adjust accordingly?
I'm pretty good. Really, the big thing is your nerves, because if you will be the one to move it. If you're nervous and you like breathing too hard and you're shaking, you'll skew to the side. If you're not just pulling the trigger, like they would teach me shit like that. Like my uncle would like set me up to shoot, and then I would shoot and it wouldn't do anything. And he'd be like, I didn't put a bullet in there, but you see how you like moved when you shot because you were scared, you were anticipating it. He'll be like, so that's the shit you got to not do. So then you got to be like, oh, okay, I'm the one that's going to fuck my shot up, not the wind and shit. So then you learn about like being like on top of it and shit like that. But I say all that to say that that's just what I did, but that wasn't my identity. I skated and shit. Like I was trying to wear cool shoes and I was trying to be cool. So
you
like,
didn't go like, hey, bro, you seen this deer antler?
No, for real. I was almost hiding that shit. It was just kind of like I was hiding that shit. That was just kind of like what I would do on the side. So when I'd see all these people wearing camouflage and shit, and then they would talk about like wanting to go hunting. I'm like, y'all ain't even ever been? Y'all fronting. Like y'all straight up y'all just appropriating my culture. This shit mad disrespectful.
That's funny. You come in all fucking. You come in with the rifle, bro. I just wanted to show you.
No, but that's the problem too. Is that like I would kind of hide that shit. So when people would find out, like, oh, where'd you go this weekend? Oh, I just went hunting at this and this place. I'll be like, you hunt? I'll be like, yeah, dude. I just don't fucking wear it to school, dude. That's just fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like I do. I use it. It's like, all right, let's just say you liked skiing and snowboarding. You gonna walk into school every day with fucking ski pants on? Like that's just ridiculous. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like there's no need for that. You're just trying to be like, look what I do. Yeah, this my personality.
I'm going skiing afterwards. How about you? I brought my.
I'm going skiing this winter. Yo, it's summer right now. Why are you preparing like this?
You didn't prepare on the off season?
Nah, but yo, quickly, I was trying to like we got off of that 6ix9ine thing, but basically to say some artists overseas are able to get crazy bags. And I just been seeing for one, Saudi, all the Middle East stuff has been just shelling out hella money in general. Like they bought the WWE.
They bought the WWE?
Yeah.
My new hot take is that the WWE, which is not a hot take, WWE is dead, but it is being replaced. We have replaced it now with influencer boxing.
Well, but what about like Logan Paul joining WWE? Does that kind of give it some more steam?
Nah, WWE needed him. At this point, who's watching WWE? We know it's fake. I feel like in this one, you know it's real. You genuinely do not like the person like you used to feel when you were younger about the wrestler.
And they're characters. They really know how to be characters. Yeah, they're really characters.
And you pay to go see them fight. And it just gets wilder and wilder. And like, did you see Salt Papi?
I heard about him. I saw like what he did in the first one, so I knew it was very like anticipated for this one. And I heard, I mean, he did good.
And all I know him from is the motherfucking bro. I think he's Filipino. I'm pretty sure he has like the thickest accent. I never even knew. Like I never heard him speak. It's like Manny Pacquiao like talking type of deal. And I'm like, oh shit. But man, watching him box was fun. Like you should watch the highlight.
That's why I love watching these things. That's why I get so excited. Like, dude, I hadn't gotten so excited during a sporting event period.
Yeah.
Then when I was watching, like I was driving, we're hitting the streets, me and my girl, and I'm illegally watching the Jake Paul fight. No, I made her drive. I said, I need to be looking for the streams and shit. Yeah. You need to drive. I'm gonna be busy on my phone. And like I'm like watching the Jake Paul fight when he fought Anderson Silva, and we hit Washington Street. And I'm seeing all the bars around me are playing it. I'm like, bad the fuck out. I'm watching it, and when I saw Anderson Silva get knocked down, I yelled. I just audibly screamed in the car. And my girl's like, "What the fuck's your problem?" I'm like, "Dude, this is entertaining as shit." I'm genuinely excited right now. He just knocked down Anderson Silva. Like I'm just going crazy, and I go to football games, like physically go to football games, and then someone like, woo, touchdown. I'll be like, yay, touchdown. Touchdown. But when I'm watching this, you're genuinely like, yo, what the fuck is happening? And I felt that the first time I even watched UFC, like going to like a bar, watching the UFC fight, not knowing who any of these guys are, and then just genuinely being like on the edge of my seat excited. Seeing like girls just beat the fuck out of other girls. Now, with WWE, with it going to the Saudi organization or whatever, whoever's buying this, are they going to let us be wild to women on the WWE again?
Oh, man. Back in the day when Edge had sex in the ring, when they put a bed there, I think that was one of the wildest ones. Oh, a bunch of the girls were Playboy models, which as a kid, I didn't know what that meant. It's just like, I'm a Playboy model. And they would show the centerfold or whatever the fuck. And I'd be like, I don't like.
So now
You're on a magazine? Cool.
you know how Saudi be about women?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So you think they'll impose stricter laws on them?
I think they're gonna let them be disrespected.
Damn.
Because we ain't letting women be disrespected no more.
That's true.
You know, so I mean, some might say, I wouldn't say, but some might say they might be making WWE great again.
They need a the way you make WWE great again is bringing back the custody wrestling, where they're like, if you beat me, I get custody of the kid. That was one of the wildest ones. It was like Eddie Guerrero versus like,
dude, those things
Rey
would be so.
Mysterio.
And now I was never super like. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just gonna put it out there. My cousin watched wrestling. My cousin watched wrestling heavily, and I was never into it like that. I was into it like the WWF era a little bit, but it's only because I had one VHS that had a bunch of cool matches.
That's cool.
That like I liked to watch, right? With like, you know,
I got into it because my older brother was into that, so he would watch the older stuff, and he put me into it, and I was like, "Oh, this is fun! This is cool!" Like The Rock, and you get to hear all the backstory stuff like that.
I loved The Rock and Undertaker; those are just my dudes.
Yeah,
and then
Eddie Guerrero was just so cool. Like you were just like, dang. And I remember he like passed away. I never really found out why. I think he was taking drugs or something. But it was like sad as like a Hispanic kid because it's the person you would relate with. You were like, hey. And then Rey Mysterio was like the person.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Chris Benoit killed his whole family, like in actual life. And you were like, is this real or is this like a WWE? Like, no, he murdered his whole family. You're just like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, what the fuck? Like,
no, dude, it is completely insane. But then you start seeing them like The Rock become who he is, John Cena become who he is. Even is it Batista? Who's the one that's been like going crazy on his own? And then you even see what's his name, white dude, big one, Brock Lesnar joining the UFC and shit like that.
You seen his teeth? The picture of his teeth?
Nah.
His teeth are disgusting. Google it, you'll be scarred.
All right, I'll watch it later because I want to scar myself at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who's listening, Brock Lesnar's teeth.
But yeah, like you would start seeing all that craziness, and but I say all this to say that like I hate saying this. I hate saying the Saudis because that just sounds racist for some reason, and I also don't know if I want to say the Middle East because then I don't know enough about that side.
You said the Browns. World. That's what you were gonna say.
I guess so, right?
I think if you popped up in Saudi, like they probably would know the difference. Yeah, they'd be like, this motherfucker lives down the street.
They'd be like, hey, Farouk, what's going on?
Yeah, so I had a coworker, and you know, I was like training them for maybe like a couple days, and then maybe like the third day, and the guy goes like, so like, bro, what part of India are you from? And then,
did you feel wait? You said this was at work?
Yeah, this is at work. He goes, so
do you think it has anything to do with the fact that you're in tech?
Yes, the fact that I'm in tech. There's not a lot of Hispanic people. I do look like, you know, like I could be like someone's cousin or something. But it was just funny because my other coworker was also new, but I was training like multiple people. The guy goes, this motherfucker's last name is Gomez, bro. He's not fucking Indian. He's Mexican. And I was just like, yeah, man, like, I'm Mexican. And then I go, but like, what part of India do I look like I'm from? And they were like, oh, Mumbai. And I was like, okay, well, now I know if I'm in Mumbai, I probably look like the homies.
I'm gonna just assimilate.
Yeah, exactly. So if y'all know people from Mumbai, let me know if we look like them. Now,
in the Middle East, is that where I'm allowed to have multiple wives? I'm just curious.
Utah too, I think.
Utah also?
Yeah, Utah. Motherfuckers got like 4 wives.
Okay, so speaking of, just quickly, because I want to get into this other thing. On that note, shouts out to Beyonce for getting $24 million for one show out there.
Shouts out
Houston. Because they really just fucking hand out money to whoever. I mean, they're the ones that got Messi, right?
Messi? No.
No, I mean Ronaldo.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I fucked up on that one. I got my
No, I was just mimicking the.
Yeah, I know, but I completely just got the two mixed up. But
okay.
With that being said, I think it's the LaVergne Police Department or whatever. Shorty with all right. I'm gonna quickly say this meme that I saw, and it was because the big reason that the story is even a story is because of what the girl looks like, unfortunately, right? It's just like,
Is it?
yeah, I mean, you've seen what she looks like, right?
Yeah, she's not. I think I
You
don't
just don't
actually. I
see
haven't.
that person being the one. You don't see a girl like that being the one to run through 6 dudes and then her husband be like, I'm gonna still stay with you. I think that's just the thing. It's a small town though, so you have to realize like it's all just small town shit. But basically, you see what she looks like, and then I don't know if you've seen the girlfriend of Sam Friedman or whatever, the FTX dude.
Yeah.
And then you saw how like that whole situation went. And then I don't know if you've seen what Greta Thunberg looked like. She recently just got arrested. She trying to be Andrew Tate so bad. But I don't know.
That's so funny ass way to. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw a picture of her.
Everybody's trying to be Andrew Tate right now.
And I saw those 3 pictures and it said, yo, this year been crazy for shorties built like this.
Oh my God. That's funny.
And then I was like, damn, it is this type of shorty that built like this. But anyways, let's quickly talk about kind of, now I don't care about the FTX thing so much as I care about the other 2. But basically, there was a woman that was a part of a police department. She was part of the police force in a small town somewhere. And there was a big sex scandal with 6 dudes at the department, most of which were married. She was married, and she was out here telling people that her and her dude were in an open relationship, but her dude didn't know that they were in an open relationship. And
the best way to find out.
Right. So she's over here like, you know, seducing dudes, saying we're in an open relationship, it's all good. At parties, trying to seduce dudes' wives, saying like, yo, let's do a swap, let's do a threesome type thing. Getting mad drunk in hot tubs, falling downstairs. Allegedly, at one point, she like emptied out a gun and then like pointed it and shot it at herself just to like know what it felt like or what it sounded like.
Oh man, so she has issues. Jesus.
She on some wild shit,
which makes sense. She let the whole
squad run through.
She got fired. But how long do you think till the OnlyFans links drops?
Oh, dude,
I feel like a couple days and an OF.
You think that's the next step?
She got fired, and she has so much publicity. You know, based on.
And at this point, like everyone, because this is the thing, and this is the reason why I think it even mattered is like when something happens in a small town, the whole world's got to like. The whole town's like involved. You know what I mean? Like, mind you, the dude, like the girl's husband is a park ranger. It's like, you heard about what happened with that one cop in the park ranger? You know what I mean? It's your local park ranger and your local cop. And, you know, I bet you I bet you there ain't a lot of work that needs to be done at this department. You know what I mean? So I guess
in the work.
Yeah, I guess they got a lot of free time.
And giving her that.
So when this happens, do you leave the town? Like, do you move? Like, everyone in the town knows you for just, you know what I mean, getting cracked open. You know what I mean?
But now everyone in the world knows you. I guess, yeah.
Right, but like, you're in a small town. Like, you can't go to Kroger without people being like,
the one thing I know is the boys in blues protect each other. So, you know, she could just move to a different station. Maybe we won't put it online this time, but like the relationship's still open is what I'm saying. So
have you been seeing the
HPD might
Yo. I mean, look, also she one of those shorties like you if I saw her in the street, I would think she's Greta Thunberg or something. You know what I mean? Like for real though, like
any girl with shorter Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, real talk, dog. Like real talk. Like I dead ass thought it was JoJo Siwa when I first saw that. Oh my
god!
I was like, "Ain't you JoJo Siwa?" I was like, "Damn, I didn't even know JoJo Siwa became a part of the police department and became part of the police force." I was dead ass confused how JoJo Siwa was in this picture.
That's
like,
funny.
You know what I mean? But speaking of OnlyFans, did you hear the news? Allegedly, which she says is all cap. It's so weird how everyone loves her but doesn't care about her at the same time.
Who?
Iggy Azalea.
Oh.
No one cares about her music, but she's just the hottest white woman most people have seen. like just objectively.
True.
She just sold her catalog for like multi-millions of dollars, like a crazy amount where she's set. Now she's doing some art project, some collaborative project where it's a multimedia project. That's what she called it, on OnlyFans. And there's a lot of, when you think Iggy Azalea on OnlyFans, everyone's like, oh shit. So she's posting provocative things. I guess she's making some songs. I think she's making some videos. And people are saying that within 24 hours, she got like over $300,000 on the OnlyFans. She's saying that y'all pulled that number out of thin air. It's just cap.
I think she probably made more, but she didn't post like her booty hole or anything, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what she's. I doubt that she's going that far.
The internet would have gone crazy. No,
Reddit, dog. That's really where everything on Reddit.
That's what Kanye said. He's like, "But why would I pay for OnlyFans when I could just like basically go on Reddit and like find the OnlyFans?" Like, I was like, "Bro, you broke ass. I mean, like not broke, cheap ass motherfucker."
Yeah, which is kind of weird to me because you would think that artists want to support other artists, like creatives.
Nah, I heard he only signed Designer because he just wanted him on that one beat.
Yeah, he just wanted Panda probably.
Yeah. So, nah.
He also
did say he was going to give Big Sean his masters.
Disrespected Big Sean, talking about like that all he's known for is that ass song. Like he ain't got hella other hits.
Yeah.
Like heller hits.
It must feel like shit to like have like somebody that you like and thought was your friend just completely fucking roast you and be like, oh yeah, they're the worst fucking thing ever.
I gave the worst decision I made signing, basically.
Yeah, you're just
that's like what he said.
It's so hurtful. Like even the people, what Drink Champs listening to, were like, what do you mean? Like
we have him on next week, dog. You wildin'.
Yeah,
you set us up to have him next week. Right. What are you talking about? It had to go through the label. What are you talking about?
You gave the okay. Yeah, man, I felt bad for Big Sean. I was never a big fan of Big Sean's music. I'm still not, but like he's not bad. Like
he's not bad. I just think, and I don't know if I had said this about him before. I just don't think he is influential in the space. No one wants to sound like Big Sean.
I think because the bars are kind of corny. Rolled my weed on it. That's an ashtray. Say, don't we do this every day? And I'm just like,
but it's not bad, dude. Like other people are way worse.
Yes, but he's a part of good music. And the bars,
no
like
one good is part of good music except for Two Chainz.
If you hear him on Mercy or anything like before, now he's kind of like, like we're not really rapping anymore. But back then, I'm like, damn, 2 Chainz is really good. They got Pusha T. They got
That's it. That's really what anyone cares about. Yes, they have Tiana Taylor. Yes, they have Tiana Taylor, but like he completely ruined her rollout by saying, man, I want everyone to put out a 7-song album and I'm gonna just throw hers in the whole mix. And then like it just got overlooked because he didn't actually give her personalized attention. He's like, I'm gonna do this thing, and he just gets to use his artists as pawns and shit.
That's true. Did I tell you I didn't meet him, but Iman Shumpert, like he was in the bodega with me, which is Tiana Taylor's husband, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to a bodega. I live right by the Nets Stadium back in the day, and I never go to this specific bodega because it's the expensive bodega. But I was like, I just need some beer, so I'm gonna go. As I'm walking in, I see this dude wearing Yeezy, Yeezy, like the Nike Yeezy shoes.
Oh, okay, got you.
So they're over like $2,000-$3,000. And they weren't the October Reds, but they were like the platinum
version. Zen Grays or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm like, who is this person? And I was like, either this motherfucker's wearing fake shoes or like this person has like a lot of money. So I was very interested because I just saw the shoes. So I walk in, open the door, and I look up, and he's buying like a pack of Backwoods off of the guy, or not Backwoods. I think it was what are the other ones? The
Swishers or whatever.
Yeah, he was buying Swishers. There you go. And so I just like stared at him because I looked at the shoes and I looked up. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Iman Shumpert," and just stared at him. And I just went to the fact to go get beer. And I was like, "All right, I gotta say hi to this motherfucker." And I was with my roommate and I was like, "Hey, you know who that is?" Go up to the front and he leaves. He was just buying, whatever. And I was like, I was so sad. So I had to like let out my energy to somebody. And so the cashier, I'm like, do you know who that was? And he just looked at me like, yes. Like, they come in here all the time. Like, this man comes in here, they play down the street. Like, they come in here all the time. I go, oh, well.
Now, what is he? Because I'm not too familiar with him.
He's a basketball player. He played for the Nets.
Okay. Got you.
So it was just cool because I thought, this person's wearing fake shoes. And I was like, well, the one person who wouldn't be wearing fake shoes is this motherfucker because he plays for them and his wife is on good music. So I was like, oh, pretty cool.
The most disrespectful thing is when somebody pointed out that Tiana Taylor's face built like a Rottweiler.
Oh my God.
And I could never unsee it again, dude.
Oh my God. I'll look it up. That's
dude,
pretty
I could never unsee it.
Tiana Taylor.
Rottweiler.
Oh man. I don't think so. She's hot though.
Yeah, but she is. But that Rottweiler face. And now I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with it. Like,
I'm saying it as a compliment.
I've seen some Rottweilers and been like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, just on the streets.
If I catch you slipping.
Yeah, real talk.
Oh my God.
Yo, one of the big problems I've been seeing too many girls online on like reels and TikToks and shit, like admitting to sleeping with their dogs and shit. And I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. Dude, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I saw a meme the other day. It was a woman and a dog cuddling, and it said 30 minutes after peanut butter and chill. And that shit just fucking icks me, dog. Like, that shit just gets me in a place where I'm just like, I don't even feel comfortable about this shit no more. Like,
yeah, we're not okay with that.
No, we're not. Like, truly, that's just not right. I want to quickly talk about something. So, when we talk about snitching, we've talked about what this might mean for you. The Gunna situation's been getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So Gunna took an Alfred plea and got out of jail. And when he did that, he did say that YSL is a gang. Now he came out, broke his silence, said YSL the label, like hashtag YSL the label, and shouted out somebody else and said, how you doing, twin? Apparently Lil Baby unfollowed Gunna, which is a big deal because if you remember back, they were like the duo. They were making like albums together and stuff like that. Like Drip or Drown. Like, we all know you can get the biggest Chanel from the store if you want, or like Drip Too Hard. Like, they were the duo. So now Lil Baby's not following Gunna. It's like, oh shit, this may look even more so like Gunna did something wrong, because if Lil Baby's not fucking with him, and you know how close Lil Baby and Young Thug are, it may allude to more going on. So Young Thug's been in court, and there's a situation where he's in court, and a co-defendant comes by and drops a perk in his hand, at which point everyone sees what happened, and he gets confronted about it, and Young Thug just gives the pill up. He just like hands the pill to the cop, and it was a crazy scene. You're just like, what the fuck? They searched the dude. The dude had like other contraband on him. He had like weed covered in like food seasonings, like wrapped in plastic, covered in food seasonings to like get rid of the smell and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just a whole mess on that side. But after further investigation, they said Young Thug did nothing wrong, and none of this is Young Thug's fault. Because I mean, someone gave him a pill, right? I mean, what are you supposed to do? He's just sitting there. You see what's going on, and he gave it up the second that like somebody confronted him. I mean, as far as you're concerned, Young Thug doesn't even know what the fuck he got handed. You know what I mean? Like, he would have to physically look at it in the courtroom and start analyzing what the fuck it was. You know what I mean? He just like, would they hand you? Oh, he handed me this. Oh, it's an illegal pill. You know what I mean? Or a pill of something. It's a Percocet. But
is this person going to jail then?
I don't know. I mean, they're currently standing trial, right? I mean, if there was a co-defendant, they said co-defendant.
Was the one who gave him the pill?
Yeah. They use the term co-defendant. So that might just fuck up his chances a little more. It may just get him some extended time. I mean, I think he's already dealing with whatever the fuck he's dealing with. But I don't think anybody gets as secured as like Young Thug. But that's been just a crazy thing because it just doesn't look good, dude. Like everything's just looking worse and worse and worse. The only positive thing, I mean, not even positive thing, is just that he didn't get charged with murder. So he got charged with RICO. He got charged with gang stuff. He got charged with possession of codeine, possession of cocaine, possession of a machine gun. So he got 5 counts of things that he got hit with. And, you know, Gunna didn't really make it any better by, so you and Young Thug were in the car. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And the drugs and the gun in the car did not belong to you. Correct? Yes, ma'am. So what the fuck you saying, dog? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, at this point, she's just looking mad slippery. And I don't know. I mean, we're just gonna see. I mean, free my homie Thug as long as he didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I mean? So long as, I mean, I don't know what's going on. You know, allegedly, so long as he ain't do nothing crazy, he ain't do nothing wrong. I mean, free my boy Thug. You know what I mean? That's what we're on right now.
That's true.
Now, your boy, like I wasn't even sure if I want to talk about this, but like during our break, you were like, no, like I truly want to like dive into Andrew Tate because, you know, I'm such a big fan. Like you were telling me that. So we'll go into it. He's in jail. The top G literally is literally is in jail. Somehow through his account, tweets are being formed. The Matrix doesn't want you to know that the top G can tweet from behind bars, but basically a tweet had been released from Andrew Tate's account saying that he wrote up his visitation list, 4 of which is family, 1 of which is Aiden Ross. Now,
which is like a 19-year-old boy.
He's got to be like 21
from America.
Now, dude. He's like 21, something like that. Crazy now.
Which is a 21-year-old boy from America.
No, here's what he is. He is a streamer, one of the most popular, probably the most popular streamer in the world.
Really?
I mean, the pretty objective that he's like the top streamer.
Why?
It's like it's Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, and like I Show Speed. Basically, those are like the biggest dudes. I mean, Hassan is up there on the political side.
I Show Speed is like that one weird ass kid in class that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but like it's
they probably had ADHD, and you're just like, bro, like calm down. Like,
yeah, he's entertaining to the kids. Which, if you really think about it, I mean, that is the audience that Tate is trying to get to. You know what I mean? Like, it's the young, impressionable dudes who are just sitting in front of a screen all day watching some kid be entertaining. And that's the people that Andrew Tate wants to go.
Well, that's why I thought Aiden Ross was much younger. But, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just insane. It feels like grooming, like, and how excited he gets.
How excited Aiden gets?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so you saw the video. So basically, I mean, as we've seen, since Aiden and Andrew Tate have been doing content together, Aiden has shaved his head. He is working out 2 times a day because he just got banned on stream on Twitch. So he said, like, I'm just gonna like double down. He's like, I told my trainer 2 a days. We're gonna do two workouts a day. And he's like trying to get his mental. He said he was trying to stay celibate for the year. But then he shot at Jenna Ortega, aka Wednesday. And it's interesting because at the same time, like, no one is actually doing more promo for Andrew Tate than Aiden by basically saying, I listened to Andrew Tate and I'm changing my life for the better now. It's like idealistically what Aiden is saying. He's like, I have changed my life for the better by listening to Andrew Tate and paying attention to what he's got to say. Andrew Tate, I mean, Aiden says he's driving his exotic sports car to Romania to go see the top G. And according to Andrew Tate's lawyer, they haven't spoken about that, but he doesn't think that Andrew's going to be, that Aiden's going to be able to see Andrew because he's not family. So even though he's on the list, I don't think that that's going to approve him to be able to actually see Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
All of his stuff is seized. There's some audio that got released that sounds insane.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. I don't know how you can try to play the mental gymnastics to say that that's not what it is, which is basically him just admitting to raping a woman and not being apologetic. On the contrary, celebrating his actions.
Yeah,
And and now there's a lot of like, he'll do the stuff where he'll like message 16-year-old girls that were like in school, and like that's how he would get them. So he'll put like Romanian girl strawberry, and then you'll see him like another clip where it's like, I'll just DM a girl and then just put like a random emoji at the end, because who even what even matters? Like, you know, what does it even really matter? So I'll put, you know, like a cherry or a strawberry or something, and then you see like the actual message like, oh fuck, or I'll just you know, you're beautiful, and then just whatever and you'll see these things, and these girls will be like, I mean, we're obviously in high school, like we have our high schools in our bios and shit like that, and like, I mean, it's just seeming crazy. So what I'm wondering is like, how do you, as someone like Aiden or any of these people, still try to like back this dude? You know what I mean? Like, I like his. No, I don't like his content, especially the misogynistic stuff. I like how entertaining this stuff is. For me, it's like, it's the idea of a troll, right? Like, what makes trolling so funny is that the people who are watching it think it's serious. You know what I mean? And the people who are in on the joke are like, y'all are so stupid for thinking this is real.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feeling I get with Andrew Tate, where it's like, y'all are so wild for thinking all this shit's real. He's obviously trolling. And then you see this stuff and you're like, shit ain't looking that trolly anymore. And now it's starting to look crazier and crazier and crazier. And I'm the entertaining factor starting to wane a little bit until we can possibly get some sort of clarity. But then that's me being optimistic in a bad way, where I'm like, hopefully these victims aren't telling the truth, which sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like a crazy thought to have.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah. That's just like where I'm at right now. We're like, because I know you've been defending him on this podcast a lot, and like, I've just said, let's wait until like all the information comes out. Let's wait and see, you know, what the court's going to say.
I think ChatGPT probably came up with all those text messages.
That is
an AI takeover.
That is honestly possible.
Of our Lord and Savior.
That is honestly possible. Dude, I love ChatGPT. You can ask it so many things.
GPT. It's actually GPT, I think.
Okay, GPT.
Yeah.
GP. Anyways, but yeah, dog, I be loving the chat. I be loving the AI chat.
Did you see the creator? They asked like, "Hey, you know, we're seeing it affect schools, like with essays now. Like, people are using this to write essays." He's like, "Well, schools had to figure out how to test when calculators became a thing, so now they need to figure out how to test now that like this is the thing." And I was like, "Damn, that's a good response, I guess." But it's way different.
It is way different, but like, basically, it's not like they're gonna fucking figure shit out. Some nerd figured out how to do this chat AI, and some nerd's gonna figure out how it doesn't affect schools.
If an AI,
if it's AI generated or something. I mean,
that'd be so cool, man. It's just a battle of the AIs.
Here's what I'm wondering. I mean, I'm dumb because I don't know any of this shit, but my thought would be, if they're able to put some sort of like watermark in the coding, right? So like you can tell if a picture has been edited by the metadata.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though you can't look in the picture and be like, I can't tell that this is edited.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into the metadata, you can be like, this was edited. This is the original, and this has been changed. Now, I don't know if there's...
Where do you find the metadata for a photo?
And on Apple, you can actually look. It'll tell you when the original thing was.
Yeah, true.
I've looked at it, dog. I've seen the blockchain. I'm just kidding.
This is whack.
No, but like, you can see the metadata. No, so I'm wondering if there is like some sort of metadata to that text that possibly could, you know, signify that it came from an AI source or something like that. You know what I mean? Some sort of watermark. I don't fucking know.
If it's text, you can't. That's what makes it cool. You could watermark it by like having specific wording, you know, or just at the end, this was generated by ChatGPT, but then you just copy
Crop that
everything
out.
else.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm wondering.
There's no real way.
There's probably something that's going to end up happening that'll like allow, you know what I mean? People found out that people were using programs to move their mouses and shit. Like that type of shit will happen. There'll be fixes to like these problems, and then an AI will try to generate another way. And my whole thing at the end of the day is interesting where I'm like, if you're smart enough to like keep up and move, like once they find some way to block you, if you are the one of the first dudes to figure out the new way around it, then like I guess you're not dumb. You know what I mean? Like you're figuring some shit out. The dumb kids who truly need this aren't going to be able to figure out the new way to fix it again. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, chat, it isn't hard to use though.
huh?
Like it's very easy to use, user friendly. It's not like
right now, but once they like block it somehow, if you're the kid who's like figuring out a way to like find the new one around, it's like jailbreaking. Whenever they jailbreak a device and then the people stop it from being jailbroken and they find another way to jailbreak it and shit like that. It's like, I mean, you doing something, like something's going on. I'm just trying to be optimistic. I'm just trying to be optimistic to be like, because my big fear is that people are just going to get stupid because of this.
Well, like, yeah. Well, I think they will have to change the way they test. I think like it's smart in a sense, but I don't know. I was thinking like maybe transitioning from random topics to random topics. Like it'd be very difficult to ask, like make a query good enough to kind of do all the things you're asking, or maybe just ask for like shorter topics. Like maybe it's like, tell me about like Macbeth, and I don't know anything about Macbeth. And then like, and also relate that to your own, like, you know, and just
I have to make it personal.
Yeah, like stuff like that only like personal. You would know, and like kind of intertwine them in a sense. Because if the whole point is like writing skills, like you don't really care what they write about. Because I could always Google what Macbeth was about, but it's like, you know, how you form your sentences and stuff. And I think it could work, but people just don't know how yet. But we'll find a way to kind of make it so that it's like basically you just make the problems harder to where the machine can't solve it yet. Once it's able to solve that, you just come up with harder problems or more complex things that are just,
or teach us like things for once that we actually can use in our real life, as opposed to like
who the fuck need to form sentences and shit.
That's what I'm saying is if there's already something, and this is going to make me sound crazy, but if there's already something that's forming sentences, like no one gives a fuck about math unless you're going into a math degree, because you could just pull your calculator out. So like who really needs to be forming sentences nowadays when like AI can form it for you? So then teach us how to like do our taxes, teach us how not to just be a part of like the economic system where we are an employee, but like teach kids how they can do their own thing and how they can be like individuals, all the things that we complain about not being taught that are actually going to help us in this world. Because why teach us something that we've now automated at this point for it to be a part of our lives?
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, why would you teach people to like, and I get that the skill is necessary, sure, but there's a lot of other skills that are more necessary nowadays.
You don't know how to do your taxes?
I mean, TurboTax.
Nah. You never done it by hand?
I mean, I type it by, what you talk about? Well, I don't even type it by hand no more. I actually have an account, so I just get everything auto-filled the next year.
I've filled it out. And I've done it like for a few years. And the way that I know I'm doing it right and that the IRS won't come, which is like a pro tip, which is just how you know you're petty and just like broke or just don't want to do it. So I will go through TurboTax. I'll do my taxes, and they're like, "This is how much money you'll make." And I was like, "All right, cool. I'll just make sure my math adds up to that number at the end." And then I just go on the paper and start like filling it out. And then at the end, I'm like, "Yeah, that's the same amount." All right, and then just ship mine, and then like you just never pay for TurboTax. And I'm like, "All right, thanks for letting me know." Yeah,
that's
bro,
fuck
them.
That's crazy. That's 100% crazy. But that's also for us. It's a lot easier when we just like work for someone, get a W-2, put that in.
I mean, it should be super simple, but they lobby, people so that it becomes super difficult. So
also, other way that I know the IRS ain't gonna come is there's a little thing called audit protection. You go put audit protection on that shit. You straight.
So stupid. But they make so much money off of that.
I bet you. But what I will say is that, like, let's just say like you're doing some stuff like where you really have your own business and like you're running your own shit. You know how many times I've listened to interviews where people are like, yeah, man, I made my first million. I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. And then I found out that I owed more than half of that shit. And then like I was broke. And you're like,
people just don't know how to manage money. That's what I've learned. Somebody who was making money was like, hey man, it was like one of like the most eye-opening questions where he was just like, so how do you prioritize your money? You know, I have student loans, I have credit card debt, and then I have like the shit I want to buy. And I go, well, I basically see it as it ain't my money until these people are paid. So I just owe them. He goes, oh, okay. He's like, usually I just buy what I need, and then whatever I got left over, I pay him. And I was like, no, like it's the opposite. It's straight up like, bro, just take your money, get the fuck out of my face.
But who taught? No one teaches you that. Like you have to take an elective to touch the surface of that.
How to handle your money.
To touch the surface. And you have to
we could have better classes in school. Yes, definitely.
And my thing is that people are like, man, so the internet just gonna teach everybody that. So why do we matter? Well, maybe teach us how to fucking, because here's my biggest problem with education, all that shit is like, as a country, you should want your citizens to be smart.
Yeah.
Because then you guys as a country are smarter. And
yeah, but that's
you
the point for debate,
grow.
Right? Like if Trump had more idiots, then January 6th would be our new January or July 4th. And these motherfuckers think like QAnon is like the next, bro. They still think JFK is alive.
There's this crazy documentary about that. It's called "This Place Rules." You should check it out.
You should check it out.
You should check it out. It actually has a lot of good information.
Yeah, I hear the person's doing really well. He like is a woman respecter.
Yeah. I've heard that. A connoisseur of women, if you will. But
yeah. Yeah, I think he has like an infestation or something in his
yeah. But yeah, that is definitely something that if you're interested in January 6th. Is it wild? Because here's also that this question of like who's responsible for certain things. Is HBO responsible to just take that shit down?
No.
Right. So I watched it after I heard about everything because I'm just like, let's see what the art's about. I mean, you just kind of get infatuated on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt kind of weird. I'm like, is it weird that I'm supporting him after the fact now? I'm like, It made me feel mad uncomfortable about the situation. I didn't finish watching. I fell asleep.
It's art from the artist, right? And so, like Reddit has this thing now where it's on my phone. And so if I go in a subreddit, it will keep showing me stuff like that's highly upvoted in that subreddit. And so I went in Andrew Callahan's, and so I kept getting updated, even though I didn't really want to, because it kept being put on my feed. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I agreed with like somebody who mentioned like, he's like, bro, like we could just find some other motherfucker to stand in front of a mic and like do this. Like, you know, like we kind of like, in a sense, like we got what we needed in like that. Like we really like this form of media or like this form of interviewing where you kind of like are able to look at the perspectives and not be so judgmental and kind of let people talk and just talk themselves into a corner. And so I agreed where it's like you could take like a similar format and just put some other motherfucker in front of it and like they could.
Yeah, but he created that sort of format.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. His whole like that community was basically like, we don't need like, because this whole controversy is happening. They were like, we don't need him, like kick him out. I mean, but it's not happening. Like he's still in it. But I agree.
Which is what he also said, which I think is the existential part of like the cancellation, where he said, if you don't ever want to watch Channel 5 again, I get it. And I respect that.
Yeah, which meant I'm not leaving.
But that means, yeah, I'm going to keep doing my thing. Yeah. And whoever wants to keep on supporting, keep on watching will. Exactly. And that's how you know if you do get canceled or not. Because when you own your own platform, no one can remove you from it. Now, if you make your fans mad enough to where they don't want to support you, then that's on you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I mean,
what'd you think of it? Did you like it?
I didn't finish watching it. I don't remember. All I remember is the first scene.
Oh my god,
that's what I remember.
Like the Florida guy, fighting in the boxing match,
right? And so then they started going into it, and then I kind of fell asleep, and then I never went back to it. But
in one of the scenes, he confronts somebody who he's been like hanging out with, and is like, so like we looked you up, and you're accused of like basically like child molesting or something ridiculous. Like he's like registered as a sex offender. And it was wild because like the whole time he was like, hey, bro, like these politicians are sex offenders. Like they're having sex with children, this, like this. And he's just like, do you think you're projecting like all of your shit because we looked you up and like this is you and you're accused of you went to jail for this? And he's just like, I don't know, bro. He just like mean mug the fuck out of him. I don't even know if he said anything. He just like got up and left like out of the diner and like they weren't friends anymore. And then they were like, did you ever feel like, you know, like you were in danger? He's like, that was the only time because he had a gun on him too. So I didn't know what the fuck he was going to do. But like, he's like, how did you find out?
Can you have
and
a gun on you if you're registered? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think so. Open carry.
Yeah,
I don't know if you were.
But is that a felony to like be registered as a sex offender? At that point, you're a felon with a gun?
If you're a sex offender and you walk around with a gun, let us know. And
let us know how to respond to this.
So specific.
But yeah, man, I think we got what we need. Tell your tias that we out here being reckless, being respectfully disrespectful, and speaking for them and on behalf of them. So
see y'all.
Let us know what the tamales situation is, how many they are a dozen. Eggs are skyrocketing. If you got some chickens, pass them our way. And we out.